Hello, and welcome back to the BWN Podcast. Today, once again, I'm joined by someone very special. I'm joined by Mr. Willem Fisk-Nicholson. How are you?
I'm good. Good to be talking to you today, Matthew.
Thank you for coming in. So today, we're going to talk about something that I believe is pretty close to your heart.
Yes.
And that is audio dramas.
I love them.
Yep. Could you fill us in early on in this episode why that would be the case?
Well, I think with audio dramas, it's this very, I fell into them because when I got into media, I didn't even know about them really. But I came into, found out about them as this kind of, because I always wanted to tell stories. That's why I got into media. And audio dramas was this way to tell these big stories with smaller budgets. And, so I, know specifically, I've been able to tell a lot more fantasy and sci-fi that I feel like would come off a little bit it's a bit harder to achieve that in visual productions. It's possible, but for what I want to do, I like to write a lot of stories, and it's faster. It's much faster to make audio stories, and so being able to do that quick fire writing and make these really convincing worlds is absolutely lovely. Yeah,
I can definitely get on board with that in the sense of it's a lot more it's a lot more simple. I would very much agree. I think that kind of sped up output is a lot more appealing, because it means obviously that you can reach an audience a lot faster than if you had obviously a visual elements in mind. Of course, we can go a much bigger deep dive into that as time goes on here today. And we will obviously talk about what got you into that in the first place. But I think a way in is to kind of, as I have done with a lot of people across the chair from me who've are involved in network stuff, to talk about what it is we're actually doing that's sort of relevant to the channel and sort of networks in that way. So, for those who don't know, because on socials it was announced a while back, Willem here is going to be our sort of voiceover, a voiceover cast member on the travel show, or I call it that anyway. To you guys, it is the Matthew May Show. That is sort of the travel series under BWN TV that we've been developing for quite some time. Willem here is the voiceover for those 5 episodes. So it wasn't the longest days, but no. How did you find it?
It was quite fun. It was a very kind of improv, get to know what you had filmed, and then kind of come up with how do we tie this narrative, make it, explain it to people, because it there's some bits which were very unspoken that need a little bit of communication. I think the biggest thing that it adds to it, because I've very much compared, I don't know if I said it on the day, but it does very much add that kind of Love Island feel to it, where there is that's a part of it, but it's also very Channel 4. I think it's kind of a hybrid between the two, where that voiceover adds an awful lot, because it builds moments up in the edit. And thinking ahead of time now, where obviously in the past when we're recording this, it's looking onto the edit, it's going to play a big role in sort of bringing the comedy out of it. But yeah, I wanted to kind of have that feel to it, where the editing, boosted by the voiceover, has that sort of mainstream Love Island comedic feel to it, but the actual execution of it in itself is very Channel 4, kind of what you'd usually sort of hear. So it kind of blends audiences in a way. I wanted it to be appealing to a lot of people as a show, and yes, there is content in there that is not for the faint-hearted, but it does. I wanted to stylistically feel appealing to a lot of people. So we'll go through one by one if you don't mind. I don't know what it is you'll be able to remember, because it was a while back. But so we've got 5 episodes, and at least currently this is the running order of which I'll say that they are. We're starting Holy Island, which was to there. Is there anything that you can remember sort of about that? I remember a little bit about that. I remember I think that was the first one we recorded. I remember you kind of describing, I won't get into the narrative as it may not have released, but it was quite interesting to get an idea of what the show was going to be, and kind of see a few things that I think kind of pop up between different episodes. And it kind of, as a narrator, it set my expectations of what I was going to be doing. Moving
on from that one, I believe we have Caden comes in for the second episode at Whitby. That one was that one was very just chill out and have fun. That was I really honestly I did not know what to expect with that episode, but I was very pleasantly surprised on the day. Is there anything you can comment on that? Our Jerry the Seagull.
That Jerry the Seagull was really good. I think I remember, like, I think we recorded that line a few times because it was like there was some lines regarding Jerry the Seagull that were like, no, this has to be right. We have to respect Jerry the Seagull. Like, there has to be respect to him. But at the same time, it was also like quite interesting because like I've done stuff with Whitby before, so it was quite interesting to see it from a different angle.
Yeah. What was it you've done with Whitby before?
I did a podcast called Student in Horror, so it was like very interesting to kind of see, because mine was more of like looking at the vampiric Dracula kind of stuff and the horror aspect of Whitby. So it was interesting to compare that.
Jerry the Seagull.
Yeah, it was interesting to compare that.
Yeah, honestly, I just have this feeling, and I would never have thought this beforehand, the fact that we just randomly in episode 2 and then never spoken of again, I do genuinely have this just deep-rooted passion to bring Jerry back. I really do. We had so much fun with that idea that I just thought, you know what, to hell with it, I'll just get a seagull. It was so good that we have to bring him back. We have to. We've got to, because definitely that is something that I want to consider bringing back. For mid-season, as things currently stand, we had Cameron, who's long-standing member of the network, on Beamish, which is a lot more of a sort of, well, in terms of scope, a bit of a more of a muted episode, but that's because to external audiences who don't know the Northeast, Beamish is a fairly decent hotspot for people who don't know the Northeast. Obviously, to the people who are in the Northeast, it's not exactly that special. We all know it, but I think it's. Is there anything you comment on that one?
I think I can't remember if I'm like mistaking it with a different episode, but I feel like no, I think I'm mistaking it with a different episode. I think Beamish is sadly one of the episodes I don't remember narrating too much about.
Yeah.
Which is probably because, as you said, it was muted.
I don't remember there being a lot to say. Like I think it was very chill. Like the weather was kind of incredible. It was a perfect mix, and there was just ice sheets everywhere, but just blazing sunshine. It was really weird. It was just through the trees. It was coming through. It was honestly some of the prettiest footage I've ever captured. But it was just really chill. Me and Cameron just walking around. There was and I think Andrew had a good time as well. Andrew's has been on this podcast before, and he directed an episode of that. I may have actually brought it up in his episode, but he directs that middle episode of the series there.
Yeah.
Now, episode 4. I definitely spoke with Georgia recently about that. Who directed that episode? What an entrance! Mr. Nathan Ellison. What can we say about this guy that has not already been said?
I think there was 5 lines you asked me to record that I think, like, there was multiple lines that were like, this may not get in.
It very well may not. No, it really won't. There's and I understand that. Yeah, we have a lot of decisions to make. But all I know is that whatever does make it past that finish line, it is a guaranteed banger of an episode.
Yeah.
There's no doubts. It was one of them days where the entire time, from about, because you can never say that about a shoot, I'd say from about 20% of the way through to the end, I just knew, the tone has been set. I know what we're in for. And of course, you've got to get in the car, you've got to get as far to the lakes as possible. Once you get in Keswick, you start to get accustomed to the environment.
Yeah.
And once you hit that point where you've been at Keswick about half an hour, jokes are being cracked, and you're like, right, okay, everyone's comfy now, with the plan set for the day, and everyone's enjoying themselves, it's done. There is a simple drive, 10-15 minutes down the road, 20 maybe, into a forest to finish it off in the afternoon. But aside from that, fine. Like, honestly, it was seamless. Absolutely seamless. Georgia did a great job, and Nathan, honestly, I've been trying to get him on this network for so long, and the fact I finally got him on under those circumstances, in such a big thing that wasn't even a shoot done at home, that we got him away for something pretty sizable, that was honestly amazing. I think it is definitely one of the best videos of the year. I was saying that to her before. I think it's definitely one of the best videos of the year. So there's that one. Then we head into the finale, which is by a mile the biggest. And I'm actually going there at the end of this week. Really? It is York, the end of that. Do you have any comments on how this series wrapped itself up?
I remember it being kind of like I don't remember much about recording that one because it was just I think it was like the calmest one to record. It was not the calmest. Beamish was probably the calmest. I can't remember Beamish. But I think York was like very, just kind of like. I remember recording some lines for it, but I remember it was a very kind of mellower compared to some of the ones before.
Yeah,
and I think the mellower ones were like I sat back a little bit more on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think from what I remember of things, I think it's got a great ending.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice ending. It wasn't meant to originally be the ending, but it's been moved to the last episode
because
we just thought it was just the most sizable, like York compared to the rest of them. It obviously is, so we put it there. And Jake, again, similar to Cameron, has been in this game for a while now. He's now, well, both of them are coming back in this episode, return after a long time. So they'll be in there. But yeah, I thought it was a decent end to it. But as I say, I agree. I think the Cameron and Jake episodes were. I think I'd say obviously York has a sort of a grander scale to it, which is definitely makes it a respectable finale. But the two of them, they are very much more that Channel 4 kind of energy to them. I do feel, however, that 1, 2, and 4 are a lot more YouTube centric, I would say.
Yeah.
Whereas, in fact, I'd say maybe 1 is kind of a perfect hybrid between the two.
Yeah.
Because you've got Logan directing 1 and 5, but Logan, who's directing Harry Potter as well.
Oh, okay.
Coming up soon. That was he's got a very photographic mindset.
Yes.
So a lot of his shots are pretty beautiful that were used in The Mighty Flame, which is the promo that we had come out in May. But yeah, he's got a great visual eye to him, Logan, and I think you take him to a beautiful place like that, not even just an urban one like York, but you take him out of the way like that to Holy Island and Lindisfarne, and he cooks, and he did a real good job on that first day. It was awful weather come by the end of the day, just raining it down in the fields, but it was It was a great start of the series, which has not changed. That was always meant to be the first episode, and it will remain so. So no, that was a good day. But yeah, I think 2 and 4. 2 was a great surprise to me. Yeah. With how engaging it actually ended up becoming. With some ideas that were just thrown in on the day. But 4's untouched. That's I cannot wait. So that is kind of our primary connection now with network-related stuff. But no, let's get right into why you are here, Mr. Willem. So, audio dramas, you've explained your passion for it.
Yes.
But what I want to know is what got you into this from the ground up, in the sense, like, what is... If you're explaining what audio dramas are to other people and trying to potentially get people engaged in that sort of thing, if visual media seems a little bit too inaccessible to some people, what is it that really, so maybe a younger you, what made you wake up one morning and think, you know what, I'm going to give this a go?
I think what it is it's the mind is a lot more limitless than visuals. Like, the camera can capture so much, and there's, of course, graphic engines, but, like, the mind, you get this ability for everybody to have their own interpretation. What got me into it was, I was originally at college, I was doing a podcast module, and a bunch of people were doing like podcasts, and I was like, I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to sit down and talk about something. I was like, can I tell a story? And my teacher was like, Willem, that's a stupid idea. That's so much work. Like, not saying that it's not a good thing to do, just like ridiculous amount of work. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And so I did like a 4-minute one, just for kind of thing. And I got a distinction, if I remember correctly. And it was just immediately kind of like, click. This is a very fun way to do things. It lets me focus a lot on the script. It lets me kind of tell... The sound is so important. Sound is so important. Sound is important in every medium. But sound in... But in... but I don't know what... I'm stunned.
That was definition of just intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, okay. But like, sound, I think if I was to sell it to people, I'd probably say... I think the best way I could do it is with horror. Horror is always the best way, I think, is easiest. But horror's not restricted, but horror is what got me into it, which is that Lovecraft and like H.P. Lovecraft and those kind of things, those horrors of the unimaginable, how do you communicate that in visuals? You can't. You're going to communicate something that can be communicated in visuals. But with audio, you can communicate the uncommunicatable. You can communicate something that you can't really understand because you can hear it. And you can hear people's interpretation of it. And that, of course, is like the extreme example. But then you can do other things of like tell stories where you don't want people to see things, where you want people to hear things and kind of be like, what's that? What's that? Like the, of course, the classic, in a murder mystery, the person walks into a room and drops the cup of tea and it smashes and you don't know what they saw. Mm-hmm. You can do that there's so many more ways you can do that with audio. And with audio dramas, you can go like, oh, I want to kill the sheriff in the story, but I don't want people to know the sheriff's dead. Have a gunfight, gun fires, body drops, who's dead? You hear those things, you don't see them.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot more, you can communicate a lot more emotionally with audio, in my opinion. It's, of course, very possible to do that with visuals. Like, I think A24 films do a lot of that.
Yeah.
But with audio, I've made an audio documentary that I can't release because I don't have permission for it, but I'm going to submit it for the Charles Parker Awards. So hopefully maybe BBC. Fingers crossed. You will hear back from me if it does. But in that, I have a segment where I communicate how I felt about my mum playing a violin through just multiple layering of the violin, like this discordant sound. It's not a real rendition of things. It's a documentary. It's supposed to be real, but it's a real interpretation of how I felt. Mm-hmm. And it's that ability to communicate things just purely through audio that I really like.
Wonderful. Right. Okay. With your projects and what it is you've done with audio dramas in your time, you would say, what would you say is a defining thing that you've created in audio that you've thought, yeah, if everyone wants to know sort of kind of a staple of what it is I've done, this is what I'd show them?
If I was to point to something I've made right now, distributed, I'd point at Veranda, which is my audio drama that I made just this year. I'm going to be making one next year, though. That's going to be 43 minutes. So hopefully that one will be the one I point to afterwards.
Yep.
But Veranda is 9 minutes long, and I think it's got its strengths and its flaws. I've got that thing around like where it's like I only want to talk about what I don't like because it's like I made it, so I'm like, in retrospect, I really think I should have done this. But in matter of fact, it was really good. I really like it. It's something I'm quite proud of. There's a heavy use of sound effects to communicate stuff, and a lot of, I think some of the voice actors I got for that are just brilliant. Mm-hmm. I definitely recommend that.
How do you find, as a creative, these things? How do you keep people engaged? Like, what's your primary mode of, right? So you don't have visuals.
Yeah.
Things are getting because this is a good through line to go for here. Yeah. Things are getting a lot more flashy. They're getting a lot more quick paced. Attention spans are shortening, and visual media in itself is difficult to maintain people's interest. Yeah. That's becoming more and more difficult by the year. How do you find doing that when you even take the visuals away? What do you do to try and really keep people hooked from start to finish?
Two things. One, you've got to keep in mind that with audio dramas and stuff, they're typically a secondary media, something that you're doing. So like you're washing the dishes, you're like washing your dishes, and you're like, this is boring. I'll put on an audio drama so I can listen to something. It's like, washing the dishes, and it's like, oh, interesting story. But typically you want the reaction from the audio. You want, like, this is something in everything, but you want the hook.
Yep.
You want the hook. You want the people to go, I'm listening. And with audio dramas, I think typically you want a, what? What's that? What? Huh? And like keep people like, no, I have to listen to the end because I need to know what that's about, or I need to watch the next episode because I need to know what that's about. Like that question is so important in audio dramas because if you don't have that question, people are just going to turn it off. I listened to an audio, like this is true with audio documentaries as well. I listened to one recently. I won't say names. But there was this one I listened to, and it was like 10 minutes of this person going, so I brushed my teeth. I didn't know whether to put clothes on in front of the officer or not before going to the toilet. And in the end, I decided to. And it was like 10 minutes of that. And then like by the end, like there was like 2 bits where he's like, oh yeah. And I didn't know if I was going to get shot or not. And I was like, I want this over. I want this over so badly.
Essentially a bad audiobook. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's a bad audiobook, but it's worse because it's true. Because it's like, do you not know how to write an autobiography? Like, do you not know what to cut out? It's like, it was infuriating. Yeah, I don't even remember the name, so I can't drop it. Drop it.
It's probably best you don't
remember it. But it's like that thing of just, you've got to create the hook. You've got to make people want to listen. And I think with audio drama, that's especially true. You've got to make sure people are interested. I think a benefit is that it's a niche. It's kind of niche, but I'm seeing like, I don't know if, have you seen like the rise of popularity in it?
To an extent,
yeah.
I feel there's Do you know how I would describe it? And maybe I'm completely off the mark with this. I'd say the same way how vinyl's getting an awful lot more appreciation in recent years. Like that's now become a very popular thing for a niche.
Yeah.
I think for a certain niche, it's becoming a very popular thing. And like Cameron, we've literally spoken about today. Cameron in the BBC episode, he absolutely eats audiobooks up.
Yeah,
that's Doctor Who ones primarily.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant!
But that's
big finish.
But no, yeah, he's a big fan. So
yeah.
That's I know for a certain niche that's getting it's very much growing.
Yeah.
And I'd say. Yeah, you could say potentially outside of that, based on as long as there's people like you who could grow, you can grow into. Yeah.
I think the best example I've seen is Magnus Archives. Have you heard of that?
No.
200 episodes long. And
I'm not surprised you've heard of that.
The Magnus Archives. Magnus Archives is one of the audio dramas that I think kind of like cemented my interest. I think I've gotten different favourites now. I still really like Magnus Archives. My favourite is BBC's, and I would listen to this before it goes off BBC because I think it's nearing the end of its licence. Children of the Stone.
Was it made? How does that work? If it's made was it made on the BBC?
It's BBC licensing is if a different company makes it.
Right. Okay.
Then it's only licensed for BBC for 5 years. It's a limited run. 5 years, still a long time.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's been 5 years, you can't listen to it again unless you find the people who originally made it. Then I think they may distribute it, or there's other ways. But Children of the Stone, best audio drama I've ever listened to. Magnus Archives, also golden. It's set the standard, or like it's created I feel like it's one of the biggest things that's made the niche. But there's like such talk about it. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's very much like nowhere near as popular, but it feels like it has a similar interest for people as Stranger Things does.
Wow. Which, speaking of which, this is completely far in the future, so this will mean nothing to you guys currently. But as things are, do you know what is crazy about this episode is the fact how what I'm getting at here is that as of yesterday, at the time of recording, the first footage and first look of Stranger Things 5 just came out. At the time this episode comes out, it could either be before or after when it actually comes out. It's now been officially announced that Volume 1 is on the 26th of November.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Volume 2 is on Christmas Day, and the finale is on New Year's Eve. So it's I have no clue. I have no clue when this is going to fall down, but it's either going to be before or after. So yeah, that's an exciting time. Sorry, Willem.
That's fine.
I'm the only one who guessed, but yeah, that's no.
I was much more excited for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer for it yet. I'll have to check it out. Sorry, I'm knocking the mic.
Yeah.
But no, I'll have to check that out. Oscar Isaac's good at just about anything he's ever in. Yeah. So that's Do you think it looks good?
It's Guillermo del Toro. I love everything Guillermo del Toro.
We studied Pan's Labyrinth at A level. Have you seen that one?
I have seen that one. I think I like Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth is interesting. He's very. I don't know. I do like it. I don't know. I find it interesting.
You wouldn't say it's his best?
I think I need to see more of his stuff.
Yeah.
Like the last thing I was watching of his was his like the thing that he produced, which was the Guillermo del Toro Cabinet of Curiosities, which none of those are his film. They're all produced by him, and you can tell it, like, because the visuals are still really good. It's most of them. But like it's a short film collection. Yeah. I need to see the one with the Eiffel Tower, I think it is.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what that is.
I don't know if it has the Eiffel Tower, if I'm mistaking it with a different film. Below? Deep?
below. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But no, there's a couple of them recently anyway. There's The Shape of Water.
Yeah, Shape of Water. I need to watch that.
And what I'll kind of test to is I think it is fantastic. His Pinocchio. That was also very, very good.
I need to see Pinocchio.
Another Netflix thing. That's probably actually why you felt comfortable making the Frankenstein under it.
Yes, that's actually true, yeah.
That's probably why, it's right off the back of that. But no, yeah, enough Netflix.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, in terms of your typical production process, how do you start? Like, what was the first thing? Because I know this might seem quite obvious, but there might be some out of the box way in which you do it. So, what is the absolute first thing? Okay, I'm going to make an audio drama. First priority, what is it you do?
First, of course, is get an idea. But getting an idea, like for me specifically, I tend to get a mind map. I'd like just put idea, and then I come up with a different idea, and I come up with like 5 or 10 ideas, and then I see which one I have the most to say about.
Right.
Sometimes I don't do it that way, because sometimes I'll come up with an idea and it's like, I like that idea, but I don't know if I can translate that into a story.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one I had about like a body horror bear thing, but that would be just uncomfortable for 10 minutes for most people. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so fun. But like, I watched a body horror film with my friend yesterday, and he hated it.
Which one was it?
The Bay.
Right.
It's about, what's it called? Isopods. You know those tongue-eating isopods?
No, but I don't even... Oh, my, just my skin crawl. Like, what is that?
There's isopods in the ocean that eat the tongues of fishes and replace them, and so then they act as like this kind of symbiotic... I think getting it up on here...
Oh, no. Thank you, by the way. This is... like, the time recording, this has never been done. We should do more of this. This is great. Right.
So, yeah, they...
What is that, a Pokemon?
So what they do is they eat the tongue of the fish, and then they act as the fish's tongue, but then also they get to take some of the food themselves. So there's this film called The Bay, and that's the monster in that is that thing, except it gets on humans.
Thank you, Willem. My day is ruined. Oh my god.
The special effects are brilliant in it.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah,
practical.
The blisters. There's so many blisters in it. In the film.
Okay, moving on.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna see The Bay. Oh, yes. Oh, this is one of my favourite films.
I don't know what that says about you. Oh, no.
There was one up there with a woman in the street on a bit higher. Yes, that one.
No.
That one there. If you click on that, you can, I think, yeah, you can kind of see some of the blisters on her arm and face. Yeah, and chest.
What's causing that?
Isopods.
I know.
Under her skin. Yeah, so like the babies in like the the larvae.
You can stop talking.
So that's one of my favourite films. I watched Cabin Fever as well recently. That one was like...
And here's me thinking I'm cool for recommending The Human Centipede to people.
I need
without
to watch
them having a clue what it's about.
Cabin Fever... I need to watch Human Centipede. That one I'm not as... That one
yeah, you'd love it. You'd champion that movie, Willem.
I don't know I think I would. I think it just kind of seems miserable to me. Cabin Fever, as a film, is interesting. It's about... I don't know if I can say... but like it's got some really grim body. I don't think I should say like what can I say in this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's about STDs. But like it's about like this kind of so like
what about them?
So like it's about this like infectious STD kind of like that's because of I think it's the pollutants in the water. No. A dead body falls in the water and the water becomes like pretty much. So then when people have sex in the movie, like they transmit this like flesh dissolving kind of infection, so people's flesh just kind of slops off.
I bet Orthodox Christians love it. I bet they champion this movie. Oh,
that one's all right. It's got an interesting thing.
I just feel exhausted. I just feel completely drained. What is it? I feel like I've opened my eyes to this whole new world of just. I just thought I never thought that me having seen a few Saw films would be considered innocent.
Yes, the Magnus Archives. Magnus Archives.
What are you doing to me now?
This one's fine. This one, like, there's not many like images of horror because it's audio, but like, it's really good. It's got a bunch of different types of horror. I need to see the sequel series. The sequel series is kind of, I kind of started listening to it. I kind of fell off on a certain episode, but I need to finish it. Yeah, Welcome to Night Vale is one I haven't properly listened to. I've listened to it a bit.
This is okay. That doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, no. Welcome to Night Vale is like a radio station.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. Well, we're back on track. It's my favourite. It got me into audio dramas. Cool.
Right on.
Oh yeah. Right. Let's please, for the love of God, for my sanity, can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. When you do these audio dramas,
yeah,
what gear do you typically need and use? Because that's a very important question for people wanting to get into this.
Yes, I think the base remit, like the base thing you need is a Zoom microphone, or like a mic, like not a microphone, a Zoom like field recorder. A field recorder can just kind of do the job. I'd suggest getting a microphone as well, but potentially you could possibly just get a microphone for your computer, like £50, I want to say, is probably like the good range. Like I have a Shure microphone. That one is pretty good. I haven't used it because my computer is still just a little bit too loud. Like, I spent £3,000 on it and it's still too loud. Ridiculous. But it's really good. But, like, you just probably need a microphone. And then, it depends on which direction you want to go. If you want to go into voice acting, you're kind of done. You just need to kind of look for acting jobs there. There's voice acting job groups on Facebook. I definitely recommend joining those if you're interested in that. I need to start applying to those. But if you want to make your own, then you probably, I would say, I use Audition, but I think there's other services you can use. I'm not sure. If you're in education, Audition, because most unis have Adobe now. Most unis in college. So Audition, I love Audition, but I think there are other ones. I can't remember their name off the top of my head. But generally, the equipment's quite simple. If you don't, I don't have a recording studio. So what I tend to do is I get a table. I get like a small fold-out table, like fold-out desk. Go underneath it, get my microphone, plug it into the field recorder. I have my script with me. I have my phone, so I have a flashlight, and then throw a blanket over it to like muffle the noise coming in. Mm-hmm. So it can be quite DIY of a field.
Do you find post-production to be sort of which part do you prefer?
Oh, I think I like pre-production, and I like most bits. I think pre-production's my favourite. Because like when I work on visual, I tend to always go into like producer roles. But for the kind of audio, I think pre-production still. But I like production. I like working with actors. Actors are fun. Actors are very... good actors tend to be very good at taking notes. Good actors. Well, I don't know. Bad actors also can take notes, and good actors can not take notes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to diss the actor group today. Yeah. But then I think post-production's really where it gets interesting with audio. That's where you can make and break Because that's where you need to be sound. That's when you're going to need potentially music if you're using music. Not everyone uses music. I like to use music. And you can get free for license, freesounds.org. That's where you get your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get it otherwise. If you have a field recorder, go out and record stuff. But with music, that's a licensing issue. So freesounds.org. But with sound effect, always use sound effects. Sound effects don't always use sound effects, but sound effects can be really a godsend in audio drama, depending on the narrative you're telling. If you're telling a more contained narrative, like there's this one audio drama I like, this one audio drama installation, Petrified, did an episode set in a radio station, and I thought that was really good, and it was very audio sound effect light. But you need, sometimes you don't need sound effects because it's the thing. You just need to like have just a few sound effects to build the world, and then mastering is where you can make and break an audio drama.
Yeah.
The EQ, reverb, and compression, I think, are the free. Maybe let me think of a fourth one. I want to say Four Horsemen. I don't know. Guitar Suite are the Four Horsemen of audio dramas. Guitar Suite because you can. I don't know. It's Guitar Suite, guitars. But reverb allows you to make things sound like they're in bigger rooms and like bigger spaces, and it really helps create that world building. No, D-Sound's the one. D-Sound's the Fourth Horseman. There may be more. There's probably more horsemen, and like I'm forgetting them right now. But D-Sound's really good because it allows you to clean audio. There's also AI tools, but AI tools sometimes will just invent random words in the stuff. AI tools can be useful for cleaning audio sometimes, though. That is one of the things I do like AI for.
So you're very much kind of apply them to things. You like doing that.
Applying
AI materials.
I think AI is interesting. I think it's both something. I was a lot more pro AI initially. Like I was like, oh my god, because I played D&D, and like, oh my god, having a mood board like service is so useful. And then it gradually got more and more, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can defend this anymore. This is like a lot of powers that's being used by this. So I think AI's iffy, but it has its purposes. And I think for cleaning audio, that's one of the few things I think I do like. Because it just means that I don't tend to need to use it, but for others it's quite useful. It's quite useful. I don't use it. Mm-hmm. I'm too good like that. But the Four Horsemen, D-Sound allows you to clean audio. Generally, I think most of the time you can use D-Sound over AI. Mm-hmm. Reverb lets you create the space. Maybe it's in a cave, make it sound like a kitten cave. Maybe it's in a room like we are right now. Not much reverb here. However, if you want it to sound like you're in a living room, like a normal living room, there's going to be probably like a little bit of reverb. It's like if you're in your mum's kitchen, there's gonna that's kind of like a more kind of, I want to say like stone kind of like soft stones like marble or like porcelain, like not porcelain of course, but like I think porcelain.
Yeah. And
like there's gonna be like slight reverb there. EQ, godsend. EQ is, do you know of EQ?
Familiar, kind of.
Pretty much. I don't know the definition, what the E and the Q stand for, but it pretty much allows you to remove certain frequencies of audio. So like when I'm talking right now, it's like if I go to like a higher pitch, like I could just remove the higher frequencies. Maybe there's like sometimes like in a room there'll be like a slight hum or a buzz. You could use denoise for that, or you could find out what frequency it's at, go to EQ, remove it, and quite often when you're finally releasing your thing, you want to boost bits of the EQ to kind of like make things more legible. Because sometimes, weirdly, I don't fully understand it, but boosting certain bits of EQ can increase the understanding of someone's vocal register.
Right.
And then compression just really just makes it more legible.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the Four Horsemen. And then there's so many more tools that are really useful in post-production with audio, but are case by case. So like delay. Oh my god, I love delay. Delay is so nice. Delay is so nice. Just being able to lay audio can create such an atmosphere.
In terms of every aspect of what that production entails, from pre to production to post, what singular element of it do you find the most difficult or that you don't like? And that could be from, I'll give an example. For example, script, and then also maybe retrieving sound effects. That's a singular task. Like if these singular tasks, what is your least and favourite? Least favourite and favourite of everything you could do with it.
I think there's 3 in Pacific that I think are probably my least favourite, and I think you've actually said 2 of them. I think script is one of my favourite things to do, but it's also the one I hate the most. Like, and I think there's like I think there's a lot of jokes about this now of like writers are people who hate writing. That is so true. Yeah. I think there's outliers. I think you had Ben on the podcast. I don't know how he feels about it. Because I
can't recall really. But
I think he's an outlier from what I've talked to him about it. But maybe I'm wrong. I have to listen to his episode. But like writing can be like very painful at times. But so that's something I really want to like push past. But that's something that because it's something I like, but I also hate. So I want to get better. I want to like try and like dissolve that. I want to create myself a Stockholm Syndrome situation. I want to like it. I want to hate it till I like it. Then sound effect collecting is exhausting sometimes. That's why I sometimes quite often I'm like there's so many free sound services, and so often I'll go for them because collecting sounds can be really tedious. However, collecting sounds can create such a like an audio imprint on your product.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're like people listen and it's like, wait a second, I've heard that before. And that can be very problematic.
Yeah.
But so having those like key sounds that are like yours, really useful. And then the third one, what was the third one? Oh, the third one. I remember the third one. The third one is just going through all the single takes of audio and then finding the ones that work.
Yeah.
Because because I know you'll have that with visual as well, but with visual you can see the takes. With audio, you can only hear them. You have to listen through them all. And so like I think recently I had an hour that I had to listen to of audio and cut that down into like less than 10 minutes.
Not good.
Yeah,
not good.
Not good.
How many listens through did it take to...
It took one listen through to cut it up.
Yep.
And then I think it took a second listen through to trim it down. And then, so it gradually got shorter and shorter. So I think it probably took it probably took 3 listens, but not whole listens. To like get, like, these are the bits I want.
Yeah.
When you because that was an unscripted thing. Scripted's generally faster, but still tedious. Like, I think I had 40-minute recordings for Veranda, and that would be, like, the same line. So, like, it'd be, like... So, like, one of the characters is called Guile, so it'll be, like, Guile, Guile, Guile. And the voice actress, Kath, one of my best friends, so good. It is so exhausting to listen to the same line over and over again. And, like, that was for all of them. But, like, that voice... roster is really good, but no matter the voice actors, no matter the actors, it's gonna be tiring.
Yeah, I can imagine us having a similar, obviously it's probably the most similar thing to anything I've ever done that is similar to what your process is, which has been Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
I would say it's going to very much be a similar thing.
Yeah, it's going to be, from what I know of that, it's going to be nigh identical.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the process. Yeah. I think it was great for what I could turn up to, which is most of it. But the irony is that I saw very little of Harry and Hermione and everybody else I was with.
Oh, okay.
So I saw very little of them too, but I believe everybody else I was in the room for.
Oh, okay.
I guided them through. It was kind of a standing in, giving some notes, that sort of thing. And I did enjoy the process. I thought it was relatively fluid.
Yeah.
But I don't envy the post team on this. Because it's, Logan will be hard at work. We've got Bug in the back there who's going to be working on Sam with it. And we've got Harry, again, coming in from Minecraft on VFX.
Okay.
So it's got a team of 3 there. We're going to try the best we can to do something great with it. And honestly, I'm not sure how much traction that kids channel is going to get right now.
Yeah.
But that is by a mile the biggest sort of North Star this year for that sort of outlet. And I think we're doing a really good job. Because in a way that's what it is. Because it's not true live action visuals, it's Lego. So it's the audio aspect of it is incredibly important. It's got to work as well. Music, how we're going to navigate that.
Yeah,
it's going to be a challenge, but we're going to really try our best with it. And at the time you guys are probably seeing this, it will not be the longest amount of time from it coming out.
Oh, really?
Probably, it'll definitely be 2 months away or less potentially. It won't be that far away now. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with one more question now. When it comes to audio dramas, so if there is one concept that you think, right, okay, I'm going to do this, I want to do this at some point in my life. What is that dream concept? And you don't have to give too much away if you don't want to.
Okay.
And secondly, how far do you want to go in terms of what's your roadmap? Where do you want to go in terms of in this particular line of career?
I think roadmap. I'll do first. Oh no, what will I do the other way first? I don't know. I'm already doing roadmap now. But roadmap, I think as far as I can get really, and I think like that is like I want to get into the BBC someday. I want to be BBC. That's my goal.
I'll say that.
Yeah. And then I think a story kind of thing I want to tell sometime. I'm not sure. Like recently I've been very much like thinking like I want to do something with cowboys.
Ooh.
But then I've also like been like sci-fi. Sci-fi is also something I want to do. But then what I keep coming back to and keep never being able to do is Lovecraft. Like Lovecraft kind of that intergalactic horror, that fish horror with fish in the ocean, and like because I had this one pitch that I like Channel 4 were reaching out for like young people to give pitches at one point to like become like someone to like get a apprentice position, and one of the pitches I did was this one like thing that I think I want to maybe adapt sometime because I think it was one of my best ideas I've ever done. I came up with it like in like 5 minutes. I was like, because I like had this other one that was like I was preparing for like a month, and I was like, this is great. And then I was like, oh god, there's a different thing I have to apply for, and I did it in like 2 days, and it was much better. It was much better than the other one I came up with, and I think I need to use it sometime. So I think that like there's this one Lovecraft story I want to tell sometime.
Great. Any advice for anyone wanting to get into audio dramas?
I would say if you're going to get into audio dramas, it's so easy to just say just do it, but like that's a cowardly thing to say. It's like just do it. I'd say listen to audio dramas, and also what do you like that's like audio dramas? Like, do you like creepypastas? Creepypastas is something I listen to since I grew up. Like, creepypastas I think are a really good jumping off point. Do you like audiobooks? Audiobooks are a really good jumping off point. They're not the same, and creepypastas aren't either, but they're good jumping off points. And I think a piece of advice I'd give is don't be afraid of the quiet in audio, because like there's this thing of like in radio, like with radio it's like radio silence is bad, you don't want to have dead air. With audio dramas, you don't want to be dead air for too long, but dead air can create tension.
Mm-hmm.
Dead air can create that bit of like what like have people asking questions. So like make sure you have something to record audio with. Sometimes phones aren't actually that bad for audio recording, but generally I'd suggest get, like, a decent mic. And, like, what you could do is you could get, like, a decent mic to plug into your phone and then find somewhere quiet in your house to record. That's literally probably enough. Don't be afraid of dead air. And listen to audio dramas and probably find out what you already like that's like audio dramas. Because actually I remembered one of the things that got me into audio dramas was this thing of, like, I was thinking of getting into books, but then I was like, I don't like the description bit. With audio dramas, that description bit is sound. And that's really nice to be able to, like, describe things with just sound, and it's a lot. It's an interesting in between TV and books, is what I find.
Wonderful, thank you, Willem. Okay, are you ready for today's game?
Oh, there's a game?
Yes, there is a game. Right, we usually have one of these each week based on the topic. Today it is Vote with Your Ears.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. How to play. There is 10 battling scenarios. No right and wrong answers here. It's more of a bit of a debate. We're going to kind of be deciding between sort of these scenarios here, which you would prefer as an audio drama. What do you think is best for this format in particular? So let's go through them. Science fiction.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, wow, with titles. Okay.
Echoes of Singularity.
Nice. Okay. Right. Echoes of the Singularity. A rogue AI contacts a washed-up journalist to expose a hidden war between synthetic and human consciousness. And then Neon Exodus. In a corporate-controlled solar system, a smuggler ferries refugees between planetary colonies while hiding their own post-human identity. Wow, they're two very strong pills to swallow.
Neon Exodus. I'm loving Neon Exodus. Neon Exodus, because, like, Echoes of Singularity, interesting. I feel like I've seen a few things like that. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little bit like Detroit Become Human, and that kind of synthetics and humanoids kind of narrative. There's a game I like called Citizen Sleeper that it reminds me a little bit of, which is this game where you're a robot with the consciousness of a human who you're pretty much like almost like a kind of a slave kind of thing, which owned by a corporate company, and you've had your human consciousness put into it just to work forever.
Yeah. But
you've managed to escape. And it reminds me of that a little bit, mixed with Detroit Become Human. However, Neon Exodus, I love, like, the Neon Exodus feels a little bit like more, like a little bit more energetic, a little bit more fun, a little bit more silly, actually. Like, I could imagine Neon Exodus being a little bit more funny, but like in a good, but then like having like emotional bits.
I agree. Right then. Last transmission from Vega Station. A slow burn mystery unfolds through recovered audio logs of a vanished deep space research crew. And then The Loop. Every day repeats for one woman on a moon base, but only she remembers. She records her descent into madness or discovery. I'm going with the first one.
I'm going with the first one too. The first one, like the second one, it's good. I've seen stories like it before. It's the Groundhog Day thing. And like Groundhog Day, it's brilliant. And there's a lot of good Groundhog Day inspired things, like Happy Death Day. Have you seen Happy Death Day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
great.
Loki Season 2 as well?
Oh, I've not seen Loki Season 2. I've not seen Loki Season 1 fully. Like, I stopped watching an episode I really didn't like. I need to finish it. But The Loop, I like. Last Transmission from Vega Station, I also like. I think these are ones that are like, I don't know if I'd listen to. I don't know if I'd listen to these, because these remind me of things these are things, like, Last Transmission from Vega Station's very, like, you know, in video games where you find audio logs, it reminds me of that, but like as a audio drama, and that's good. Not my cup of tea.
Cool. Right, fantasy. Oh, he's excited now. Right, The Rune Collector. A cursed archivist must piece together ancient magical recordings to stop a world-ending prophecy. Or Whispers of the Hollow Court. What a title, by the way.
Yeah.
Political drama and dark enchantment swirl through a fae court. told through secret tapes smuggled to a mortal spy?
Rune Collector.
Yes.
Rune Collector. I like Whispers of the Hollow Court, but Rune Collector, I like the idea of these ruins, like these individual like tablets, that tell this story, like that have these recordings on them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right, number 4. The Ember War Journals. A soldier in a magical war sends audio letters home, slowly unraveling a secret that could end the conflict or destroy both sides. Or Grimwire Hotline, a call-in help show for amateur spellcasters goes off the rails when a mysterious caller invokes an ancient evil. I think the first one.
I like the second one. I think the second one, like, I like this idea. I would probably, like, what I do with the second one is I just have it be like an amateur spellcaster invoke the ancient evil. Just like some, like, it's like, I've got this spell, I don't know how to cast it. Smebulok, Durgadov, and then, like, the world explodes. Like, there's this, like, I like the idea of it just being an idiot who causes this ancient evil.
Fair point. Right, I think this is the midpoint now. Number 5, mystery thriller. Right, Static. A private investigator receives anonymous tapes that predict future crimes unless he solves the mystery in time. Or Dead Frequency. A ham radio enthusiast accidentally tunes into a pirate broadcast from a parallel world where he's a wanted criminal.
I like that one. I like Dead Frequency.
Right, okay. I just really need to ask the producer this. I really want to know. Right. Did you really come up with every single one of these, or was this GPT? Wow. Wow. Well, what? Firstly. Secondly, what goes on in your head? Oh, God.
Dead Frequency actually reminds me of Tales from the Gas Station. Yes, okay.
Oh, my God.
Tales from the Gas Station. There's the pirate radio, and what it does, it kind of, these do both, like, if you combine these two, you'd get Tales from the Gas Station's pirate radio, which is this radio station which just says random facts, and it's like, Sarah A. Hamsworth is going to eat spaghetti tonight.
Is that a type of, like, what is a ham radio?
A ham radio is like a kind of improvised kind of radio, I believe.
Right, okay. Cool. Number 6. Right. Glass City Confidential. Noir-style crime drama in a futuristic city where voices are currency and secrets are sold on the black market. Ooh. The Fogtown Archive. A new town librarian finds old reel-to-reels documenting murders that never made the news and might still be happening. I'm inclined to maybe go the first one.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Okay, I think the first one. I'm thinking, like, in terms of, like, as an audio story, the first one's definitely more interesting. Like, the first one definitely has much more potential. The second one, good, but for audio, the first one has a lot of, like, wiggle room. Because potentially you could have, like, voices being sold, voices, like, voice corruption, like, people's voices, like, gradually kind of being, like, dying out over transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to think of, like, what would inflation be? It's like, oh, someone's got a really good secret. I think everyone else's secrets are worth a little bit less now.
Oh. Right, okay, up next.
Horror!
Please don't be fish. Right. The Harvest Calls. A slow town records the slow return of a forgotten ritual that demands human sacrifice. Told through voicemail and town hall tapes. Okay. Crackling Beneath. A seismologist documents strange sounds underneath the Earth's crust. Too regular, too alive.
I like Crackling Beneath. Crackling Beneath, the kind of, like, the Earth is alive is it's almost become a mini genre. But I like it as a genre. It's a good genre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never much of a fan of rituals. I'm not a big ritual fan.
I'll be honest, I don't think many people are fans of fans, to be honest. Right. Do you know what? I think the entire trajectory of this episode, I've just been more and more exhausted ever since the fish. You just completely throw me off the rails.
I felt there was like a good 5 minutes where I became the host.
You're spot on. Right, okay, 8. Right, Night Post. Couriers on a cursed postal route share supernatural tales until they realise they're part of the same terrifying story.
I will say this is interesting because I was literally thinking with the last one that I was thinking postman. I don't know why I predicted the postman.
Whisperline, a late-night call-in therapy show, receives a call from someone who died decades ago and keeps calling. Absolutely that one. To me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like postman. I like postman.
I like postman.
Yes, I like Postman Pat.
Yeah. Everyone loves Postman Pat.
Yeah. The 3D movie was alright.
Special delivery service.
Whisperline, I actually know a show like that. Not exactly like that, not with a dead person calling in. But I know there was a show, Tales from Darkness. I think it's Tales from Darkness. A Voice from Darkness. Which is a late night call-in therapy show.
Cool. Yeah, I like Whisperline. I do. Right. Okay. Slice of life. Okay. Number 9. Station 404. A dysfunctional team runs a failing space station and deals with bizarre alien tourists, budget cuts, and sentient vending machines.
Oh, yeah. Already, that one. That one. The next one doesn't matter. That one.
Okay. I'm not even going to read it. Move on. It's one. Oh, man. Cryptid FM, a podcast hosted by actual cryptids, Sasquatch, Mothman, etc., trying to make it big in a human-dominated world.
See, I think I've said before that if cryptids were real, I would want to be a cryptid hunter. So I think by law, I kind of have to go Station 404 because I would kill them.
Fair enough. And lastly, 10. Borrowed Time Library. A magical library lets patrons borrow moments of time. Shenanigans ensue when late fees catch up with them, literally. Or Therapy for the Recently Undead. A group therapy session for vampires, zombies and ghosts trying to adjust to the modern world. Honestly, I think you take audio library, you take audio dramas aside. For me, as a film, that Borrowed Time Library, I would love to watch that as a film, but I don't know when you purely go to audio.
Well, I'm thinking Therapy for the Recently Undead feels very What We Do in the Shadows. It feels very kind of almost like fake reality TV, kind of like this recently undead zombie coming to terms. It's I didn't really want to be. And then a banshee's I don't know why people won't let me do. I want to sing, but people are terrified of my voice. I think Therapy for the Recently Undead for me.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And Finn. Well done. That's look. I don't know when this episode's going to come down. Time recording, I don't know, but I think that is the best. That is the best game of the podcast so far. That was. Yeah, take it back. If that was not GPT, the fact I thought that was GPT shows that's some graft. Yeah, great. Yeah. Brilliant. Right, okie dokie, and that will just about do it for today. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Oh, definitely.
Great, wonderful. So now you know what to do. If you want to start an audio drama, all you need is even so much as a relatively decent mic and an iPhone. That's about all it will take, and obviously you can grow from there. But no, that is it. Thank you very much, Willem. You've been wonderful, and we will see you next time on the BWN Podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.